Hi everyone, this is a tutorial on how to create registration boxes so that you can easily layer adhesive vinyl. You don't have a lot of freedom whenever it's time to line up a design, and so if you use these registration boxes and design them in Silhouette Studio, it makes it so much easier. First, you're going to just take a look at your design. I can see that it's all one piece. So what I'd like to do first is I want to make this outside line, I want that to be for my solid, and everything inside I want to be for my Sparkleberry patterned vinyl. This is going to make a really cool dimensional look, and so the first thing I want to do is make sure that we get these separated. I don't have an ungroup option, and that's because there's a compound path. So I selected it, back up a little bit, use my select tool, make sure to select my design. I'm going to right click and go down to release compound path. This is going to make, in short, all of these pieces separate. Now I want to put them back together again, but remember my first point was to get this outside line. I want that to be separate. So I'm going to pull that off of my mat. And now I'm going to, again, select all of these little pieces because I want to get them back together. So I'm going to make my compound path again. Right click, make compound path. Now, I'm going to pull this back over, and it's time to create our registration boxes. I want to line it up exactly how I want it to be. And again, you have a lot more freedom in your software to do this alignment process. The next thing you want to do is go to your drawing tool and click on your rectangle. And I'm going to draw a square, doesn't have to be perfect, right there. And then go back to your select tool over on the left. Select that little square, right click, and duplicate. We want one more. We're going to place that over on the opposite side. You can line them up perfectly if you want to. It does not matter as long as in the end you're using these registration boxes correctly. So if I wanted to line them up perfectly where they're across from each other side by side, this one's selected, so I can press shift and select that one as well. And then I'm going to go over here to my Align tool, which is the Transform panel. I'm going to click on the Transform panel and go to my vertical because I want them to line up vertically. Now they're exactly across from each other. Again, you don't have to do this, but for my type A people, you're going to really appreciate that. Now, we are now looking at our design. So let me explain to you what we're going to do. We're going to make two different cuts. The outside is going to be my solid and the inside is going to be my patterned vinyl. So right now I just need to cut one. I'm going to drag one off the mat. So I'm taking the inside off first. We want to be careful not to change the alignment once you move everything. We don't want to move these registration boxes at all. Now it's time to cut. If you needed to resize your decal at all before you start cutting, that's what you're going to want to do that with this piece and that piece together. But we don't need to resize it. It's perfect in my opinion, and it's time to send it to the mat. So we press send and we send it to our mat. We make sure we're on vinyl glossy and we don't need to mirror it. I don't have my Cameo plugged in just yet. I'm going to do that in a moment. And for recording purposes, we're going to go back so we can show you the next steps. So we've already cut our solid out, and this is the next part. It's very important that you pay attention to this point. You're going to want to pull your sunflower back over and realign it again before you pull your solid cut off. The reason for that is we want those registration boxes to be exactly where we place them for the solid cut, okay? Now, I'm going to remove that. Only the outside, and I'm being careful not to move the inside because I want these boxes to be in the same placement. And now we're going to send this to the mat and cut it as well. Okay, so I've cut two different so we can see what it's going to look like on different colors, which is one of my favorite things to do, is to match the pattern with the different colors. So first let's start with yellow, and I'm going to want to weed my yellow. Now, do you see the registration boxes that we have on each one? those are so that we can line them up. So the next thing I want to do is prepare my transfer tape. And this transfer tape is reusable, so remember to keep your backer. Now, because my sunflower with the pattern is my top layer, we want to start with that first. And so using your gridded transfer tape, which you can get on the website as well, you don't have to have it gridded, but sometimes it helps people to really feel confident in their placement to make it nice and straight. I'm using my squeegee to burnish it real quick, and it comes right off the backer. Now, this is the fun part. I am going to use my registration boxes that are right there to line up on my yellow registration boxes. When those line up perfectly, then my sunflowers should also line up perfectly. There you go. Look how easy and beautiful that was. And the last thing you want to make sure you do is to get those boxes off. You can go ahead and apply it to whatever you're going to apply it to and take them off later, or just go ahead and take them off now so that you don't forget later. And there you go. It is ready to transfer. How pretty is that? So we're going to do that one more time so that you can see. Okay, so although I do love the green, I think it's gorgeous, but for this green bucket that I've chosen, yellow is gonna work much better. So we're going to apply it to this beautiful bucket. And I've cleaned my bucket with alcohol so that there's no residue or dirtiness on it. And then I am just simply going to line it up how I would like to place it. Then we're gonna rub it really good. And voila, you have an adorable summer bucket. So see how easy that is, guys? Just using those registration boxes, you can get a perfect layered decal. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.